What keeps rugby alive when everything's working against it? For Francis Leilua, the answer isn't money, it's people. 14 years as president of East Tamaki Rugby Club, and even when he stepped away, he always came back. Because for him, this club isn't just rugby. It's home, it's community. Smaller clubs are fighting to survive against bigger, better, funded systems. On this episode, we go inside the journey of one of Otara's most respected figures and what it really takes to keep grassroots rugby alive.
Talo Fulava, my name is Francis Leilua. I'm the president of the East Tamaki Rugby Club in Auckland. I've been a president for not quite sure how long, it's been a while, but I was also a player as well. And from there I went into coaching, and then I went into the administration and on the committee, and now I'm the president. So I started way back when the club first opened, I think in 1962. Actually, I actually thought it was a league club. So I ended up over here, and I saw a lot of my friends over here, and they said, "Oh, I thought this was a league club." They said, "No, the league club's down now to Otara. This is a rugby club." But I stayed up here, and then I've been up here ever since, and played in the minor grades, little grades, and I think I started here in under 9s, and then up to the 21s, or 20s, 21s, and then went up to premiers, and I stayed up there, and I ended up captain a few seasons, and then I actually left the club and went to Otahu. There was a lot of talk about that. I don't think that Auckland is interested in minor clubs like East Tamaki. You had to go to a big club like Otahu or something. So I went to Otahu, and my heart kept me back here. So I'd play up in Otahu, but I end up here at the after-match function at my own club. But it didn't work out. And even when I was playing over at Counties, it was called Counties then, it wasn't called Counties Manukau then, and I was playing for Weymouth, I still ended up coming back here to the after-match function. But after that I came back to the club and played a few games for the top side and then the presidents, and I think they ended up being the administrator of the club, and now I'm the president. I've seen the club grow, and we had some good times. We had some good players too, but like anything else, there were other clubs outside that want to have a look at some of our players and entice them to come over to them, and we lost quite a few good players. And I think our biggest one would be Eric Rush. He played all his younger grades here, and he ended up coaching here too as well. Peter Fetz, Fatilofa, he was another one that came in and did a stint here and coached as well. So no matter where I go, I've always come across people, even in overseas, I say, "Oh, you're still at East Tamaki?" "Yeah, I'm still there." So we've had a lot of good players come through here. I think the latest one would be, that was here, is Roger Tuivasa-Sheck. He played all of his younger grades here until he went across and joined up with the league club, and he's doing quite well himself. There's been a few, but I've enjoyed it. As you know, that I'm still here, and then I come up here occasionally to watch the guys train and watch a few games when I can. I also coach first 15 rugby at our local college here, Surgeon Hillary Collegiate, only because I teach there. So at one stage, I was coaching the school, and then after that I was coaching here too as well. So it worked out really well because the timing was right. All our first 15 games was at 12, and then the top side will play around about 2:30, quarter to 3. So I balanced that quite well. The weekend was out, and so my family, they really supported me. They'll come up to the games, and my daughter will know all the rugby grounds in Auckland and even the school grounds. So I'm a very passionate ET guy, even though that I did move around a bit, but it always draws me back here.
If we could just touch on that, obviously you've just talked about obviously the stint over in Otahu, over in Weymouth. What keep bringing you back through the doors of this club?
I think you always remember your first club, and it's always been here. And there's some committee members here that nurtured me too as well, and looked after me and took me through those tough times too as well. At those times there were little gangs and things like that, but I probably this club here sort of got me out of that rut. But then I was also studying too as well. So I had rugby, study, and then I joined up with a lot of my friends were in gangs, but I just go along with it. And they didn't think anything of it. It's a community type of club. This is, one of the few clubs that I've been to when there were kids here at the Aftermax function. I've been to other clubs. There's certain times that kids are allowed to be here, then they need to go home. But very family-oriented club, I think.
I think you were touching a bit about on the club's culture here. I guess for some people that are moving into the neighbourhood, how could you best describe the club's culture to them?
I think some of them will come along and they'll just have a look, and they just sit around there. I said, and I quite often go up to them and said, you're new here. You're interested in playing for the club, or otherwise you can just go in and join in. And that's what they usually do. And they just join into some of the pre-season games and fitness, and they ended up saying, "Well, this is not too bad." And some of them are they've sort of moved into the area, and they like to play rugby. At one stage there, I think we had Tongans and Samoa. We were lucky to get about 2 Pailangis in this club. And so we're very, very good to each other and supportive of each other. Yes.
That's very impressive. Just moving on, in terms of club, and I guess you've been through since under 9s right up through the coaching and stuff like that, what's a moment that probably stands out in your mind where you're most proudest of being from East Tamaki?
Well, the one that stood out is when we actually beat Ponsonby. That stood out really well. We had a good side there. We had a few international players in there. When I say international players, we had some that played for Samoa and played for Tonga. And we had one that played second five for Samoa, and the other one that played first five for Tonga. And they all came up to this club, and we had a really good side there. And we took it to them, and I think Ponsonby was thought they'd just come up here and get the points and then go back home, but they didn't get that either. So it was a good moment. that had our first win against. And, you know, they were quite devastated actually. But yeah, it's a lot of high points. One time there, I think the club had the most junior grades in all the clubs in Auckland. The club was buzzing, you know, and at the end of all that, we've always maintained that you know, the biggest thing that we need to do, they're good players, but we just got to keep our composure and discipline, you know. So yeah, every time they say, "Oh, here comes this team from Otara over there," but we didn't worry about that. What's on the field and the score, that's all that matters. And yeah, it was really enjoyable.
If we could just go back to just say you briefly touched on like one of your proudest moments for the club was beating Ponsonby. Why does that stand out for you?
Well, everybody wants to beat Ponsonby, you know, and we've never beaten Ponsonby, and yeah, we usually behind the bloody some big scores against Ponsonby. We went out to Ponsonby one time there, and so all I could think of is, I hope we just keep the score down under 50. But yeah, I mean they were good sides. They were good sides. And I think we've heard, you know, the more we played them, the better our players got, and especially some of these top sides. You know, the guys will take little snippets from where they went wrong, and we'll just put it together on training night. And yeah, and yeah, even today we're still learning. We're still trying to, you know, get the right guys for the right position, the right coaches. And yeah, it's not easy coaching a club that, you know, that's always been down the bottom. You know, it hasn't got that status up there that used to be up first division and things like that. But yeah, we had some good times. We had some really bad times. But yeah, like I said before, the guys took it all in stride. Whether they win or lose, you know, they still come inside the club and said that they enjoyed it and still laughing. You know, I've seen opposition say, how can they be enjoyable when they go to hiding? But that's not what it was all been. And I think it's camaraderie with the guys, with each other, support each other, and their families as well too.
In terms of your service to the club, that you were just touching on before with coaching, it can be challenging at times. In terms of sacrifice, you know, for this club, how much like family time that was sacrificed to keep, you know, being involved in here?
Ooh, for me it was quite a big thing for me, and I used to take my families out. So yeah, my family spent a lot of their time at the rugby club. I've only got daughters, so my daughters always knew where the grounds are and where they're going. They said, "Oh, I know where the ground is." Yeah. Yeah, it's a lot of sacrifice, and yeah, thanks that it's only on Saturdays it happens. You know, training nights we come up here, and yeah, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday we're up the club here. Yeah, you just do what you need to do, I think, and then, you know, and guys like to learn things, and you know, and you talk to them, and yeah, and although they're all from different ethnic backgrounds, Samoans and Tongans, they seem to know each other quite well, and talk and joke and sing. Yeah, they're a very good bunch of boys there, and they get to know each other.
No. It's the two more questions coming from me. One of them being, if you could describe this club in one sentence and what it means to you, how would you describe that?
Ooh. I think like just that it's a community club, you know, and although, you know, it's grassroots, we don't get many players being called up. We've had a couple of All Blacks, and the All Blacks up there. I think Rushy will probably be our first one. But every time he's available, he comes down and has a chat with the boys. But yeah, I think there's something about this club that draws quite a few of the guys back here. And of course, we've got other clubs outside. There's Pakaranga, and that's out east, and then there's Papatoi. And then, of course, we've got the Scorpions at the league. So, that's entirely. And then, of course, if they can't make it work time in Auckland, Counties is just across the road up there too as well. So, but we take anyone. We don't sort of target certain players. They come, and even the ones that sort of probably never played rugby before, but they just join in. We'll do our best with them, but any new player, we always make them feel welcome, and it's I would describe it as a community club, and everybody enjoys each other's company.
Finally, what would your message be to the next generation about getting involved at East Tamaki Rugby?
Yeah, I think that's entirely up to. I mean, the generation today, it's what they can get out of the club. It's all about finances. Okay, the All Blacks and playing for Super Rugby, you do get paid, but it doesn't. You don't get those sort of things here. There are some clubs they do entice players with financial. I mean, when I say financial, they probably get a few dollars for their petrol for them to come over. At one stage here, we had a few players that were enticed over North Harbour to go and play because they were the players that they wanted over there. And we don't make big scene about it, but we knew they will come back. Then they always said, "Gee, it's a bit far going over there." At night time, you go over there to training over the Harbour Bridge and come back again. No, it's a bit much. And say, "Hello," but we'll welcome anybody that comes up here to ET, and we've had some really good guys and some good players. And not only they're good players playing rugby, but they were good supporters too of the club as well.
This is what grassroots rugby is built on. Subscribe if you want more stories like this, and watch the next episode right here.